Okay, good morning everybody. Welcome back to Today in Slovakia. I'm in downtown Bratislava and I'm just going to wander around a bit and just, do some talking, basically talk to myself, and I'm just going to show you around the old town. So we'll just start over here at we're Wieżoslavovo Námestie, and this is one of the larger squares. In fact, it's probably the largest square in the city. On the right there is Hotel Carlton. Up ahead there is National Theatre, and we're going to head that direction right now. Okay, so the thing is, with all these tourists around, I look like a tourist, even though I live in this town. But sometimes it is nice just to come and act like a tourist and just wander around, see, like I come downtown. I don't come downtown as often as I'd like to, but in my day I used to come down here quite a bit. I'd have a lot of classes and hang out and so on. But I neglected to see all the changes that go on. All the buildings that were fixed up and are still being fixed up and repaired. And I forget to that a lot of the stuff around here, they've done an amazing job actually. I mean, when I first came here in 1993 to live, like where I'm standing right now, this used to be a taxi stand. In fact, actually this whole square didn't exist. All the way up to here, where those people are standing over there, that used to be a road, and it used to go all the way around, and buses used to come here. Cars were parked all by those stores and everything. The Hotel Carlton over there just was, in complete shambles. I think it was in operation for about a year, and then it just went bankrupt, and it was left decrepit, to decay. It was decrepit for a good 4 or 5 years until somebody bought it and fixed it up. So it's nice, it's actually nice coming downtown and just being a tourist. And I'm not actually going anywhere right now. I don't have any classes or anything downtown today or anything, so yeah, I'm just here to hang out. So anyways, I'm going to turn around this way and we'll head down this street and see what's over here.
10:30?
Yeah, I talked to them.
So it's August 27th, and we're really coming to the end of the summer here. And I guess this is probably the last week that we're going to see any tourists, or this amount of tourists, because come September, everybody goes back to school. Everyone will be back at work, and so the crowds of tourists won't be as full as it was all summer. Yeah, you know what? I'm not even going to pause this video. I'm just going to wander around and let it go all in one take. So actually right now we're going to head up to the main square and have a look at that. Mario.
Almeno questa parte di città e poi
Abbiamo visto quella di ieri sera è già c'era.
nella lista fanno mostra di sono innamorato intanto abbiamo visto questo
Poi no, questa volta credo.
Okay, so this is kind of an odd statue. This is a statue of a guy that actually lived here way back in the 1930s, 1940s. And his name was the Schöne Nazi, which means the beautiful Nazi. And I've seen pictures of him. He was a real living guy, always dressed like that, very elegantly. And he stood around here. He stood actually right at this corner, right where the statue is. And he basically greeted everybody and, welcomed everybody to Bratislava. And he got the name Schöne Nazi, as far as I know, from protection from the Nazis, basically. Slovakia was occupied by the Nazis. It was, in World War II, it was given status as its own republic. But the Nazis were still here, and a lot of Jewish people were sent away to Auschwitz and to Terezin and to all kinds of, work camps and as well as extermination camps. And I don't know whether he was Jewish or not, though, but this was his veil for protection from the Nazis. And then, unfortunately, in 1948, the communists took over Czechoslovakia, and he was arrested and sent away to prison. And and it was a very, very sad fate for him. Anyway, so let's move on to something a little more happier. All right, so here we are at Main Square. Okay, so that is the statue of Maximilian. He was an emperor in the Austro-Hungarian Empire long ago. Well, actually, not too long ago. In fact, actually, he was king of Mexico for a little while, and it didn't work out in Mexico. And so he was eventually sent back to Europe. But he fared, quite well here in Bratislava, apparently. And over there, right there where my finger's pointing, that is the, what's called, or in German it's called the Rathaus, or Radnica in Slovak, and that's City Hall. And so that's another prominent feature of Bratislava. So you can see there's a lot of tourists out here. Like I can remember way back in the 1990s, you wouldn't see any tourists. And where we're standing right now, like you can see that the ground, everything down here has been tiled, and it's done really beautifully. It's been basically renovated to look like the Old Town Square that it was meant to be. But when I first arrived here, this was actually a park, and this was all trees and flowers and green spaces. And the reason why it was done, again, a lot of people thought, it was just to provide a park in the middle of the city. But actually, it was to discourage large assemblies of people so that, there wouldn't be any kind of protests or anything like that going on. So it was very hard to hold a demonstration here. So it was the same thing with the square that we were at before. There were cars and buses, and it just, people could kind of demonstrate, but it just made it impossible, Plus, military vehicles were, given access. Okay, so, and in fact, all these buildings, these ones right in front of us here, these three here, when I first came here, they were in such deplorable condition. I mean, all the windows were smashed out, all the mortar was gone it was just all exposed brick. And even the roof was gone on the green one here on the left. And it just looked like a bomb had gone off here. And that was just communism for you. You know, there was 40 years of communism. No investment was done or put into renovation and upkeep of these old buildings. And basically the idea was just let them decay and then eventually destroy them and put something new up. But fortunately the revolution came, and you know, funds were available, and especially with the European Union now, a lot of money has come into restoration projects, not only in Bratislava but all around the country. Okay, so I'm just going to put oh no, actually I said I wasn't going to pause. So let's just wander this way here. We'll go through the courtyard of the town hall, and I'm going to take you over to the Primate's Palace. By the way, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful morning right now. It's 10:30 in the morning. It's only about 22, 23 degrees, but it's going to be hot and muggy later on. Okay. This is beautiful. This is Baroque or Baroque architecture, this ceiling, you know, these archways. All right, so now we're coming to the courtyard. Yeah, you can see that it's all, you know, all of this is arcade. This goes back a number of years. This goes back to like the 15th century, actually, all of this here. Okay, and now coming over here, actually, through this archway, we're coming up to a second. Well, actually, on our tour, this is the third major square that we're going to see. And this is the square of the Primate's Palace. Let's go have a look here. Nobody in? Okay, so the Primate's Palace, what does that mean? Okay, so the Primates, meaning first. The first time I heard that word primates, you know, I thought about monkeys and, you know, cave people and things like that. But in actuality, it goes back to meaning the first, you know, the primary. And this is where the mayor sits, actually. So this is his office. It's somewhere in there. I have no idea. And then right opposite is also the mayor's, I guess, you know, the city council, let's say. The city magistrate sits here, and they have all their meetings as well. So again, this is a beautiful square. This is something just absolutely amazing. And when I first came here, I still remember this actually was a bus stop. Okay, so again, it was another, you know, way to deter people from, you know, demonstrating and gathering. And of course, it was practical. People could just come here, get off the bus right here, right where these people are standing right there. And they had access to Old Town. So yeah, so anyway, so they came through that way, and we'll just wander around a little bit, and you know, I'll show you some other stuff that's going on here. Okay, so up here on my left, or our left, this is the back of the magistrates, and you can see from the architecture here. This is old socialist architect, or I guess decoration. Okay, even the architecture. This is kind of, you know, something you would see in Stalinist times. So, but it was kind of spiffed up. You know, they did have a little bit of respect for the old town, but not that much. So over here you can see those are people working, I guess. And again, the same thing, just people working. So as far as I know, the labor office used to also be here, but it's not anymore though. It's been moved somewhere else. And this building that you can see right here where my finger is, this is the back of the post office, the central post office of Slovakia, basically, or at least of Bratislava. I'm not really too sure if it's the for the whole country or not, but it's also another beautiful building. And I'll just get out of the way of this car, don't want to get run over. And here's the Franciscan church. This is being renovated. Okay, and here's another church opposite, also very beautiful, although it's rarely open. I have been inside it, but that's only just very special occasion, and most of the time that I was inside, it was just lucky that it happened to be open that day. Yeah, there's a nun walking towards this way as well. There's a convent actually as part of this church complex. Slovaks are predominantly Roman Catholic. There is a minority of Protestants, of Lutherans here. I was also born and baptized Lutheran, although I don't practice it anymore though. Alright, so let's wander this way because we're getting out of the pedestrian zone, and we'll go back into the pedestrian zone, and I'll take you along a couple more streets, and then I'll call it a day. Yeah, Bratislava is around 1,000 years old, maybe even older. Well, actually, it's much older. People have been living here for well over 2,000 years. This was like the Roman outpost of the north. There's a lot of like ruins of Roman towns and castles all around the Bratislava region. Yeah, in Latin, Bratislava is known as, if I pronounce it correctly, Posonium. In Hungarian, it's Pozsony. In German, it's called Pressburg. And in Slovak, it used to be called Prešporák, and which was the Slovak version of the German name. And then later it was renamed to Bratislava when it became a part of Czechoslovakia in 1918. Okay, so let's head up this way. We're going to have a look down this street here. All right, so here we have the famous Michael Tower. This is called Michael's Gate. There used to be 4 of these gates here around town, and this is the only one that exists. Yeah, that's another kind of sad story, you know, like, as far as I know, one of them was destroyed and just taken away just because the town was getting too big for it. But the other 2 were taken down by the communists and just given way for, you know, more socialist development. Let's go through here. We'll have a look through the gate, and then I'll take you down Michael's Street, Michalska ulica. And yeah, I guess I'll wrap it up. This video is getting a little bit long here. So what these people are looking at is a compass. Let's see if we can find Toronto. Oh, look at that, a Hungarian restaurant. I haven't been there yet. So these are actually pretty good prices, considering we're right downtown in the heart of the tourist, you know, the tourist center. Dobry den, dobry, jo napot. Yeah, €5.90 means roughly about $10, and that includes taxes. That's one thing I really enjoy about Slovakia, is that, you know, when it's the price is written, there's no extra, you know, GST or PST or whatever it's called in Canada now. You pay what is advertised. Okay, I'm just gonna wrap things up though. Thank you very much for you know, tuning into today. So, as I said, it's the end of the summer. There's, you know, at least here in Slovakia, I'm sure I've got another month of wearing t-shirt and shorts. I'm going to be taking off on Thursday for Serbia, so I'm looking forward to doing some vlogging from there. In the meantime, you guys take care, have a great week, and I'll see you next time in Today in Slovakia. Bye everybody. Oh, this is looking good. This is really making me hungry. Before I do head out, stay tuned, because one day I'm going to make this at home and film it. Slovak sheep cheese gnocchi, or gnocchi with bacon, but otherwise known as brinzové halušky. Okay, so stay tuned for that sometime.